evening. Little time frame on this, a little different. Actually, I'm gonna lower this thing down a bit. Doing it about 6 in the evening, and this thing's talking behind me. Just a minute. Let me get my machinery shut down here. Okay, there. Anyway, I can't have any distractions going on. Doing it in the evening. Me and Tiana are going to watch a movie here about 7:30, so thought I'd do this. I'll probably load it later in the evening. Boy, I will tell you this, that here at Siegel South, the pollen has gone completely bonkers. I mean, man, my eyes have been itching, my nose been running. I don't know what the pollen count is. I haven't looked it up. I usually, keep it on the computer. But yesterday it got so bad. Day before yesterday, it got so bad. I had to close all the windows and just turn the turbine on the air conditioner. Of course, what this does is it takes the air that's inside the house and pulls it through the filter on the air conditioner, and it pressurizes the house so that additional pollen makes it difficult for it to get in the house. And after a while, we have a pretty fair filter in the air conditioner, and after a while, the air passing through that has scummed out most of the pollen, so you can breathe in here. Now your nose doesn't itch and your eyes don't water. Anyway, I haven't run it today, and my nose is itching, and my eyes are not watering, but they feel like they could. It's raining outside a little bit, more of a mist. I just made a run up to a little town up the road here, where there's the only real store in the area. It's a bag store, but went and got a bag of ice. And like I say, me and Ma are going to watch a moving picture. I don't know what you got. We're subscribed to Netflix, and they send us things. We get online, check the ones we want. She checks the ones she wants. I check the ones I want. I get the war movies, adventure movies, good stuff. Bang, bang, shoot 'em up. And she gets the romances and whatnot. And this is one of her choices, so I suspect that it'll be a romance or something, high drama. It'll be good. She's got good taste. One of my relatives came in and spent part of the day with us today. He's a truck driver out of Corsicana. And he came in, parked his rig over here at the Mennonite church across the street, came over and spent a few hours with us. And the phone rang all the while he was here. Everybody wanting to know where he's at, when's he coming home, and you're not where you're supposed to be. And he kept telling him, I'll get there when I get there. And he finally decided that he'd been harassed enough, and he left. But it was fun to have him here. Politics. Run, Hillary, run. Now, I know it's 4 years to the next election, but I swear it's the campaigning starting already, or the push to get people campaigning. There's already talk about this person should run, that person should run. I want Hillary to run. There's a couple of benefits to be derived. One is that, at least in my part of the world, here at Siegel South, one of the primary complaints that folks around here have about Obama is he's black. They use that word, he's one of them. And this disqualifies him from being a human being, I guess. He's just black. Well, I keep telling him that if you'll just bear with it, 4 years, we'll all be sitting around talking about the new white president, because of course there's nobody that I can see in the people of color bunch that has the chutzpah to get into being the president, so I figured that Obama will be one for a while. But Hillary's white. Of course, she is a woman. And these same folks that are complaining about Obama being black will complain about her being a woman, but they won't be able to complain about her being black. And she is eminently qualified, capable. I don't know how old she is. I think she's in her 60s, which will put her, I suspect, still in her 60s the next time the election comes around, which will allow her to be young enough to, run for a couple of terms. And the gal, she's good. She knows her business. I watched her the other day on, she was in that hearing before the House, I believe it was, Foreign something or other committee. And the Republicans were just haranguing her. One of them said he would have fired her. Another one was going on about a simple phone call would have helped. I was proud of her. Boy, I mean, she banged her fists on the desk and she asked him what possible difference could it make. And she's right. It wouldn't have made a lick of difference. So she handled herself real well as far as I'm concerned, and she left her appointment on a high. Now Kerry's got to come in and try to duplicate her performance. Although I think he's a pretty capable guy. He should be all right. I know that the I want to say House Republicans ginned up a lawsuit, motion, whatever it is, took it to a circuit court down there in Washington, D.C. Obama had made some appointments while the House and Senate were in recess. They said, you can't do that. And surprisingly, the circuit court agreed with them. So now I guess they're going to go to the Supreme Court. And who knows? The Supreme Court right now is leaned, sloped, angled to the right side of the spectrum, so maybe they'll agree with him. And essentially what will happen is they'll take away his ability to make appointments when he wants to, which is what they want to do. They try and, they throw railroad ties in front of him any way they can. But I guess we'll have to wait and see on that. I have another subject that, I think is a damn disaster. Excuse my language. I use the word damn, and I've been told that is cursing. For us biblical scholars, I think it's used in the Bible, but anyway, they have passed a thing that says that women can be in combat, and I think that's a disaster. Now, I know that there are countries that have used women in combat, the Russians predominantly during World War II. But boys will be boys. Just picture yourself. You're in Iraq or Afghanistan in a dugout, and here come the baddies, and there's you and this gal in the foxhole, and you're gonna die, or you think you might. The average guy, his mind will gravitate to this poor little darling that's with her, especially if it's somebody that's fairly good looking. Might even go so far as to say, well, dear, if we're going to die, we might as well go out having, and if you think that's a flight of fancy, it's not. In countries where you have women in combat, pregnancy rates gone up. How could that be? You're out there all by yourself in the bush with this luscious little darling. You got your gun, she's got hers. And either you're about to go under, or there's nothing going on. I just think it's a total disaster. And I'm not faulting the guys, and I'm not faulting the girls. We just are what we are. And I think that when you put women in a life threatening environment with a guy, or even out there by themselves, it isn't good. It ain't good. Shouldn't be happening. I mean, there's got to be other things that women can do. I mean, fly a jet plane. Women's hand-eye coordination is better than most men's. I mean, they ought to make crackerjack jet pilots. I think the Israelis use them as pilots. I even think we've got a few. And, they should be just slam bang good ones. But on the ground, in the mud and the blood and the beer, with everything going bad, is not a place for cohabitation. Shouldn't be. What's the word we in this? I can't think of it. There's a word they use for dormitories. Not co-educational, co-something, I can't think. Shouldn't happen. Battlefield is a man's world. Always has been, always will be. And you're just asking for trouble. You're going to, through nobody's fault, you're going to weaken our fighting forces by putting women in that kind of danger with guys standing around trying to protect them. And that would be one of the things that they'd feel an obligation, they'd put themselves in harm's way to, keep the poor little deer from getting hurt. So it shouldn't happen. Anyway, evidently it's going to. They didn't ask me. So, But if anybody watches this with any power and they think my opinion's worth a damn, they'll undo that. Now I want to talk about this football star that was, I guess he was on Facebook, and he fell in love. Some little darling was on there talking trash to him, and he just went all out of his mind. Well, it turned out that it wasn't a honey. The pictures were fake. The gal that they put the pictures up, she either didn't exist or she didn't care about him at all. But the whole thing was contrived by one of his friends, and it went on for like a year and a half. And then all of a sudden, as the story went along, the little girl got sick and died. Of course, he never met her. So he didn't know whether she's dead or alive. It's just that the thing, was on TV there. It was on Facebook that way. Well, this thing has become the biggest news event of the month. And I think it's ridiculous. The American public is really going to hell in a handbasket if some poor guy's misfortune to be bamboozled on Facebook is news, really good news, where they interview him time after time, and they start investigating all the emotional ins and outs of all the trauma it caused him and all that. You telling me that this is news? I mean, there's terrible things going on. I bet you that there was probably 10 killings in Chicago, in a couple of 3 days where I saw interviews with this idiot. They'll probably make a movie out of it now. I mean, as an example, once upon a time, years ago when I was young, I invited a girl to the prom. Bang! Woo, did you hear that? I don't know what that was, but it was loud. Anyway, I invited a gal to the prom, evidently early in the year. I thought I was in love or something, Time passed. I invited somebody else to the prom. Now I got 2 gals to go to the prom, and they wanted to go, both of them. I mean, you talk about lethal situation, but it didn't make the news. I didn't get a minute on TV, radio, newspaper, nothing. I mean, it was just part of life's travails. And I put this poor guy's situation with this make-believe gal on Facebook in the same category. You know, just it's bull. So your network news people, you need to go out and find something else to talk about. I'm tired of it. You see, I made me a little scratch sheet here. Subjects. What do we got? Can't read my own writing. I can't read my own writing. Football star. I pretty well covered my issues. I want to insert before I get off that for those of you up in Siegel North, I put it on Facebook. I wrote it in, but I talked to David Berg's wife. Be 2 nights ago now, and I'm not a doctor, so I can't give a prognosis. But she tells me he's sleeping most of the time, and when he walks, he now has to walk with a walker. Cannot be good. So any of you folks up there in Siegel North that have a telephone, give him a buzz. He'd probably like to hear from some of you know. Fiddle. Mackey, Daryl Mackey. If you ever watch one of these, you're at the top of his list. Give him a call. Because, I'm not going to say that because I don't know. They might keep shooting the chemo in him and he might just be fit to fiddle. But he was diagnosed last August, and as far as I've been able to track it, it's been nothing but downhill for him. So keep him in your thoughts. Hi to my kids. Hi, Kyle, up in Kansas. Carl, if you're watching this, down here in Texas. Love you both. Ike, I had a guy in here today, he was a trucker, and I showed him your video on how to treat your trainer and things to bring to your training meetings, and, your truck and all that. He really enjoyed it. He's a nephew-in-law of mine, I guess that's what you call him. He's my wife's brother's son. Would that be a nephew-in-law? It's like, I'm not sure that's even a word. But anyway, I'm feeling good. It's the weekend. It's raining. I'm going to shut this thing down. Go and watch a moving picture with my darling. And if I think it's something really big tomorrow, I might do it. Because I think I'm going to put about 2 weeks between the last one and this one here. Anyway, all you folks out there have a fine one. And we'll do it again sometime soon.